Imagine not being able to eat food because it would make you sick. That's what some people with Crohn's or colitis have to deal with. About 55,000 Minnesotans have Crohn's or colitis. Reporter Sonia Goen shows us how an 11-year-old Maple Grove boy is living with Crohn's.
11-year-old Wyatt Miller is a very energetic boy who enjoys playing with his sisters and roughhousing with his two dogs. Wyatt doesn't slow down much, but when he does, it's usually because of Crohn's disease.
Really bad. I almost feel like I'm just want to lay in bed all day and just not come out.
In 2016, he was diagnosed with the inflammatory bowel disease. The condition causes fatigue, diarrhea, and very painful stomach cramps.
Painful, like you don't even want to move, and yeah.
Shortly after he was diagnosed, doctors put in a nasogastro tube so Wyatt could get nutrition and not irritate his intestines.
And people kind of stared a lot, so that made me very uncomfortable too.
For the first 12 weeks of this regimen, he couldn't have any food, only ice and water. He endured this treatment for almost 2 years.
It's tough to see him at night, when he's just crying because, not necessarily the pain, it's just I can't eat this.
Wyatt doesn't let Crohn's disease get him down. He continued going to school and playing baseball and hockey with an NG tube.
Those are just two really fun sports to me. Those are my two favorite sports, and I just love playing them.
First time he went to hockey, it was a little bit scary, and I thought, what if it comes out? What if it gets caught?
Dealing with Crohn's is mentally challenging too.
Hard, and thinking I'm different, and I don't know. It just feels like I'm different.
The disease is also hard on his parents.
It's at nighttime when he's in bed crying about it. That's when it gets me. But I keep saying, you're not different. Everybody has their own thing in life.
They rely on their faith to deal with the complexities of Crohn's.
When he's scared and sad, we pray together, and I think that helps. Just helps to ease some of the anxiety about it.
These days, Wyatt is doing much better. He's on an IV medication that has put his Crohn's disease in remission. And he's back on the ice making major moves. This is video from a recent hockey tournament.
He just has better energy. You can see him out there, going faster.
Wyatt is determined to live life to the fullest despite having Crohn's disease.
He doesn't let anything stop him. Nothing stops him.
He has this advice for other children going through the same thing.
Don't let any of this bother you, and just try to get through it all.
Although Wyatt is fighting a terrible disease, he's hopeful. He attends the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation Pediatric Support Group. Wyatt also dreams of playing for the Minnesota Wild when he grows up. For more information on inflammatory bowel disease, head to our website, ccxmedia.org.
All right, thank you, Sonia. The Maple Grove City Council faces an upcoming budget vote, one that accounts for the city's rapid growth. The city's population has increased by nearly 7,000 people since 2010. That additional growth creates a need for additional expenditures and additional staffing. The proposed 2020 budget calls for a more than 3% increase. It includes a request for 2 additional police officers. The average Maple Grove home, however, will see about a $4 decrease in city property taxes. That's because rising values in the industrial and commercial sector will pick up a greater share of the property tax burden. The City Council is scheduled to approve a final budget December 16th. In the spring, it's all about the fishing opener, but in the winter, it's all about the 3rd annual Nordic Ski Opener, which takes place Saturday at the Elm Creek Park Reserve.
We're going to get 3,000 to 4,000 people here, so it's a big day, and it's just really exciting for the community. The whole Nordic community comes out because Nordic skiing is so important to them, and it's important to the state at large too. It impacts resorts up north.
The Three Rivers Park District is waiving fees for ski lessons, rentals, and day passes on Saturday. Current snow conditions are good. Elm Creek has been making snow for 2 to 3 weeks, and Mother Nature has done her part too. There will be advanced skiers at the event and those trying out the sport for the first time. It's never too early to start skiing, even for 2-year-olds.
No, absolutely not. There are days when it seems like it's maybe too young, but for the most part, these guys just love it. You get them out and having fun, and winter is no problem.
The first 2,000 people who show up will get a free Nordic ski buff. Elementary students in the Robbinsdale School District are getting some much-needed nutrition thanks to some generous volunteers. KidPack is a nonprofit that packs food for local students in need to take home on the weekend. On Wednesday, volunteers bagged meals for both Neal Elementary in Crystal and the School of Engineering and Arts in Golden Valley. An $8,000 grant from the Rotary Club of Crystal, New Hope, Robbinsdale, and Golden Valley will allow an additional nutritious food item to be incorporated into each bag.
There is a serious shortage, particularly on weekends, for a number of students at the two elementary schools. That without these packs of food, they would likely be short of food for the weekend.
KidPack serves about 230 students per week at the two schools. Two local churches invite you to escape the commercialism of the upcoming holiday and instead shop for something truly unique at their alternative gift market.
My favorite slogan is Grandma doesn't need another knick-knack and Uncle doesn't need another tie. Give something that will benefit the world and people who are impoverished.
Christ Memorial Lutheran Church is partnering up with St. Mary of the Lake for an alternative gift market this weekend. You can purchase items like a bike for a doctor in Africa or food for a refugee family. The church has started these markets back in the 90s to encourage people to be more environmentally conscious, but now it's grown to center around social justice issues too.
People here are also learning to appreciate and have an awareness of conditions all around the world. So it's not just good for them that we give, it's also good for us that we grow in our awareness and our appreciation for other cultures.
You can find out more information online, ccxmedia.org.
The Park Center boys basketball team broke through to reach the state tournament last season, finishing third in Class 4A. As Jay Wilcox reports, the Pirates are primed for another big season.
Park Center boys basketball is on a good roll. Coming off a 30-2 season, they have a lot of talent returning and plenty of firepower. Replacing three backcourt seniors will be tough, but they're ready to excel.
We have most of our guys back, so it's we're just working harder for last year. We know how the loss we took last year. We all know how that felt, so we're just coming back harder this year.
Our team will look a lot different in terms of some of the ability it has. We shoot a little better. We maybe don't defend as well as we did a year ago. So, again, we were 30-2 last year. I don't know how you duplicate that again, to be honest with you. But we're just going to take it day by day, game by game, and see what happens.
6'10" Baylor signee Dane Danger is one of the state's top big men. Datavius Frierson is a strong, athletic dynamo up front. David Ajatambola and Josh Brown return as key performers. And 6'9" transfer from Colorado John Grigsby can shoot it. Expectations are high, but the Pirates got used to dealing with the pressure of being a conference and section favorite last winter.
This season, we're also projected as #1 going into the season, which is going to be another year of everybody expecting us to live up to the hype, like anyways. But, we just play basketball. We listen to our coach. We got a smart coaching staff. Our coach is really great. We got a lot of talented players. We have a good young group that a lot of people don't know about.
It helps because I don't have to try to convince guys that things are going to get harder, and you have to have attention to detail. They lived it.
With a win over Hopkins already on their resume this season, look for an exciting winter in Pirate Land. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
The Pirates play Eastridge Saturday night at the Breakdown Tip-Off Classic at the Lindbergh Center. The 7th-ranked Wayzata girls hockey team takes on 9th-ranked Hill Murray Saturday. For the Trojans and their new head coach, they are enjoying the moments in this season as they come. 23-year-old Wayzata head girls hockey coach Taylor Williamson is fresh out of college and a great playing career at both Edina High School and then the University of Minnesota. The transition for both coach and her players has gone well.
They just definitely bring a whole new aspect to the game that we didn't have before, whether that being a specific goal that we need to have for each practice or just a different type of viewpoint for how we play our game. It's really good for our style.
It wasn't long ago that I was in their shoes, so that's not something that I have to work for. It kind of naturally happens, so we're really fortunate with that.
It's a long season, and despite the team's solid 7-2 start, the Trojans aren't looking too far ahead.
Something I always like to tell the girls is that the biggest game of the year is always the next one. That's something that Brad Frost always told us at the U, and it's something that I've wanted to carry on here because it's so true. You can only focus on the team you have ahead of you. You can never take a team for granted.
Wayzata features some great talent and should compete well all year, even in a tough conference and section. One thing the players say they can improve on now is starting strong in games.
I think we need to start right as the puck drops and play all 51 minutes. And because if we don't play all 51 minutes, we're giving away half of the game. I'm guilty of this. It takes me maybe a couple shifts to get my legs under me. So I'm going to try to change up my warm-up.
Next Tuesday, the Trojans skate against defending state champion Edina. Coach Williamson is looking forward to facing her alma mater for the first time, but don't expect any divided loyalty.
When people ask about it, all I can say is how welcoming the Wayzata community has been. And the girls were talking about it the other day, and I told them that Wayzata's home for me now.
You can see the Wayzata Hill Murray game live here on CCX1 and online at ccxmedia.org Saturday afternoon at 2:30. The game also replays Saturday night at 7 o'clock.